advantage. He lives in Toronto as far as I know, so everything should be good for him. The game is already live, so we can go ahead and hop into it. As you guys know, it's going to take me a minute before I get the scoreboard and stuff correct, because I can't edit it before. But I'm going to try to do it all as soon as possible. As the score is currently 0-0. Right, left. So left is going to be... yeah, that's actually correct. And then right is going to be root MaSa. So now let me just full screen it, make sure that I did everything correct, almost correct. I need to move this to the button and move this one up, order, move up. And now everything should be correct. Full screen again, Protoss and 0-0. Everything looks good. So we can go ahead and hop into this lower bracket match of round C. Of course, it's currently on the mainstream. Group D is about to start. And Group D is going to be sick. I'm not going to say that you guys should watch this stream over the other stream, because Group D is going to be awesome. It's going to be Scarlet versus Live first, I think, and after that it's going to be Flash versus MC. Some of the greatest matches I think that we could possibly wish for as StarCraft 2 fans. But I'm still excited for this one as well. I am curious to see how well our Canadian Terran player in the right bottom side of this map will do. And of course I am talking about Root MaSa. He's representing Root for Root. MaSa is a player that doesn't travel a whole lot, but he does so well in a lot of online tournaments. And he even won the Canadian qualifier. I know a couple of people were like, man, what the hell is MaSa doing in IEM? Boo, every single player is so sick, and now MaSa's here. MaSa won the Canadian qualifier fair and square. And the way that IEM does it is always that at least one player of the hosting nation will be represented in the main tournament. So they had a very stacked Canadian qualifier. All the good Canadians were playing in it. Hawk was in it. I'm not sure if the North American qualifier, which Scarlet qualified from, was before or after the Canadian one, but I'm pretty sure it was before. So even Scarlet was in that qualifier. Kane was in that qualifier, but MaSa won it. So he deserved it. He deserved his slot. And now it is time for him to prove that he can do it when the big boys are playing as well. And one of those big boys is, of course, this Protoss player that's spawning on the right top side of the map. He is incredibly good, he really is, even though we don't see too much from him, and he's actually the one that dropped out of WCS Europe and not Yoda. So I made a mistake. I made multiple mistakes today. I've been making mistakes my entire life. It's kind of the it's the story of my life, I guess. But over here on the right top side of the map, it is first. It's disappointing to see him drop out in WCS Europe round of 32. I expect more from him. I know a lot of you guys expect more from him because he's so good. He should be going further. In all honesty, if MC is able to win WCS Europe, a player like First should at least make top 4 every single season. That's how good he is in my book. I might be overestimating him, but I don't think I am. I've casted him in the past, and his multitasking is very, very sick. But now he's going to have to show it. He lost his first series of the day against SOS. In all honesty, he didn't look fantastic in that series. His strats were not very well thought out. Those were strats that you can try to mess around with on ladder and stuff, but I wouldn't really do it in the main stage of the Intel Extreme Masters when everything is on the line. It's a winner bracket match, it's main tournament. But he tried to go with it. Maybe he just doesn't feel that good about PvP currently. That could be the case. PvT is a difficult matchup now, but First is good, and I think it's safe to say he's the favorite going into this series. But he's going to have to work hard for it. That wing, as you guys can see, is our first map, and the opening has been very standard so far. 1 gate, fast expand, followed up by the cyber core. So that Nexus went down very quickly. MaSa is opening up with 3 Rexes. No reactor stuff yet. He could add a tech lab on real soon. Okay, Rex number 3 is the one that the tech lab will be added on. And then it could be either a combat shield or a stim pack opening, and we could see MaSa go for one of these pokes that have been doing quite a bit of damage in the recent weeks of PvT, especially against very greedy Protoss openings where there is not a simple ramp, and this is not really a ramp either. It's a wide open area, so it's easy for bio units to just walk in. And we see concussive shells being the first upgrade. That is the upgrade I see the least of the 3, but it can still be successful, as I just saw... Who was that Terran? There was a Terran just yesterday being... I think it was Paul actually. That was... No, Paul only played today. I don't know, maybe Bunny. It was Bunny, I guess, who was pretty successful with it. This is a really good start already to things. But I must say, First is doing this very surprisingly. This is very MC-ish like. He's following this up with 3 more gates. So if MaSa goes for a traditional 3 Rex bio poke, he brings out all these units. He loses these units to photon overcharge whatsoever. there is a chance he could get 4-gated, but he scouted this pylon. I have no idea how he did it, and this is a massive scout. This is going to make his life a lot easier. But it's not the end of the world for First, because I still think First should be more than fine to receive this initial 3 Rex Biopoke, which I think could be coming. Concussive Shells is out. I do not think that... And actually a Stalker did die. This unit lost tab doesn't work, but maybe one Stalker did get picked off. Anyways, I'm not sure. MaSa has not scouted these gateways yet, but I have the feeling that MaSa sort of has picked up on what is going on, because why else would there be a pylon that early on? That is not normal to be a scouting pylon to check for drops or to go for some warp-ins eventually. A pylon like that early on is the type of pylon that you want to get if you want to be aggressive with your 4 gateways. First has decided to transition, and we see that he actually decides to transition into a Dark Shrine, which could work, but it's also risky, because if he doesn't do any damage with this, actually a missile turret up already in the natural. MaSa is looking rock solid so far. This factory is kind of late. It's an 8-minute 20-second factory, so medevacs are not going to be out super quick. As he delayed it behind concussive shells, behind combat shield +1 and Stimpack. But overall, MaSa looks very solid here. We took a look at the economy. It's 47 probes against 41, so that's not too bad for First. That's something that you could normally work with. I think First is very sad that he saw there's already a missile turret up. He could start up with a Warp Prism, and I really wonder if he will. I think opening up with a Warp Prism would be kind of smart here, because he's opening up with Dark Templar. So it is going to be a Warp Prism. Once again, guys, if you're wondering, hey, what happened with Snoot vs. SOS, it will be happening after this series, I believe. That could very well be the last series of the day that I cast. Perhaps we're saving the best for last. It would be phenomenal if the Ents, our very own Liquid Snoot, would advance to the quarterfinals. There would be so many WCS points, and he needs them, as we all know. And that is going to be happening after this, though. If Snoot wins that, he will advance to the round of 8. If he loses, then he will have to play again tomorrow. But that is something that we have to worry about later. That is not for now. For now, all of our eyes will be on First versus MaSa. MaSa has not seen this Dark Shrine yet. He may expect it, but he hasn't seen it yet. He saw the amount of gateway units early on. He saw that proxy pylon. He has a missile turret in his natural. He keeps a few bio units in his main. That might just be enough to deal with these DTs. If he throws down a single scan, he has concussive shells. So if he throws down one scan and he kills both Dark Templars, that would be huge. Oh, MaSa, bring back those bio units. Oh my god. DTs kill units so quickly. 7 SUV kills already. Scan will go down. Missile turret gets cancelled immediately. Concussive shells will attack both Dark Templars. Will one of them make it out? Nope. They won't. So missile turret is going down. 7 SUVs is bad, but it could be so much worse. And First is not really been producing a whole lot of probes. So MaSa is actually only down 4 workers, which is something that if I was a Terran player, I would sign for. Here comes that Warp Prism again. It's going to unload 4 Zealots, but I think with the bunker and with the additional reinforcements and Rex number 4 and 5 up now as well, I think MaSa should be fine. So now we are going to take a look at the other side of the map. This Protoss army does not look very intimidating. First is trying to buy time. He does of course have all these Stalkers. They have Blink already as well, so if the force fields are good and he gets out the Immortal that he currently has in production, he drops the Photon Overcharge, maybe a Time Warp, then I guess First should be fine. This Warp Prism is really interesting because like Hero uses it all the time, and I must say it's a very good way to force Terran to keep a couple of units at home. I personally am always worried if I have enough units at home to defend, but just a couple of Zealots can really ravage the economy of the Terran. I can't believe that First is charged as well. Protoss is a beautiful race. Kappa. I play Protoss so I can make those jokes. First has killed 10 SCVs so far, but above all he's still delaying this push. How many Stalkers are we looking at? If he picks up all of his bio units and he flies into the main, he will be able to do a lot of damage. This Zealot count is pretty high. We're looking at 17 Zealots over here with +1 armor, and they already have charge. Of course the bio units are at +1 attack and +1 armor, so they have a small upgrade advantage. But they need more than that. This Zealot count is pretty intimidating. First has just done such a good job in delaying MaSa, whatever he wanted to do. A couple of Marauders will stim to the right side, try to pick up this Colossus. Actually gets a couple of shots off, won't kill it of course, but first damage has been done. A few of these zealots contained out as well. At the same time, we see a lot of zealots being dropped in the main base, a few additional zealots being wiped in. If First can cancel +2 attack over here from MaSa, that would be massive. Bio units are still late to the party. Here come the SCVs though, and the SCVs will actually save this engineering bay. Can these Marines pick up the War Prism? Nope, that's not the case. Good save here by MaSa. I know that this looks like very effective harass, and I'm not going to say it's not, because we're only looking at 42 SCVs. But if this Marauder dies, this is a really awkward fight. Look at these concussor shells, they're all going over this edge of this map over here. But there are Widow Mines as well. That was a bad fight for First. If we take a look at army supply, oh my god, it's 82 against 41. If MaSa pulls all of his units now, I think First is in so much trouble. First needs to back off. There's no way he can stick around in the middle of the map. He still has his War Prism as well. He has money, so he could warp in a lot of defensive units. He's currently working off 8 gateways. First has been doing so many things at once and still play so clean in general. You know, getting his transitions going, getting his forges up and running, going up to 3 bases. Pretty high level play by both players, because First has been doing a really good job in keeping MaSa busy. I love how he's going to try to drop a single Dark Templar. There is a Widow Mine in the mix, by the way. This Widow Mine can do a lot of splash damage. All of the medevacs are full of bio units on the right side of the map. First knows about this. He has observers on the right side. He's bringing his Stalkers home. Stalkers are not out yet. These units will be dropped on top of the Colossus, but there is a missile turret. There's so many Widow Mines in the mix. I'm not sure what these Widow Mines will shoot at. Maybe a few probes. More Colossus joining in as well. These Stalkers are in a little bit of trouble, because these Marauders have a lot of DPS. Now I can... so many Widow Mines. Where are your observers first? He has only one. Man, that's like 6 Widow Mines in the main base. How often do you see that? It seems like the Dark Templar on the other side of the map did not really do a whole lot. Killed 2 SCVs, so we didn't miss too much. First has done a really good job and somehow finding himself in a position where he's a Protoss that's mining off 3 bases and has 63 probes. I'm actually pretty impressed with how he has played this, because I know that I would not be able to do all these things at once. I would struggle, I would suck. I'm having a hard time keeping up with this game as observer. It's pretty embarrassing. I'm truly getting old. He's gonna try again to be annoying. It's been awesome for First that he has kept this War Prism alive throughout the entirety of this game. Has this +2 armor now as well as +1 attack. Did he kill one of the evays? Or yeah, I guess he did. Or maybe actually I think MaSa has been in single engineering bay throughout the entire game. He's not getting his second engineering bay. Couple of Zealots and one this Dark Templar is going to be annoying. Losing this turret is going to suck for MaSa, because now he doesn't have any detection anymore. And at the same time, First is moving forward as well in the middle of the map. Man, he is playing a beautiful version of Protoss. At least I think it's beautiful. Widow Mine will connect with one of these Stalkers. At the same time, MaSa is going to have to abandon this base for now. More Widow Mines getting shots off. A lot of splash damage has been done, but the Viking count right now is almost non-existent. We're looking at 2 Vikings against 3 Colossus with +2 armor, +1 attack. One of the Vikings gets picked up immediately. This is still a very awkward choke point for Zealots to run into. They're kind of running into a meat grinder. If these Colossus die, then First will die. Man, he's really going in very far, but he still has force fields, and force fields are very good units. Especially when you're trying to keep Colossus alive. And these Korean Protoss players, they know what they can and cannot get away with. At the same time, there is a big drop over here in the main base. And actually, the Nexus has died. These bio units are still going to town. First has to be really careful. If First ends up losing his Colossus, then things can go wrong for him very quickly. A few Marauders are left. Marauders are getting close. SCVs are being pulled as well. First actually lost all of his Colossus, lost his Stalkers as well, and most of his gateways are unpowered. Oh my god, this MaSa just turned this game around with this drop, where I really thought he was going to die, because he had like no Vikings at all. What a sick drop. I saw this drop really late, and I immediately realized that it was a very serious, intimidating drop, because it unpowered all these gates, but I cannot believe that MaSa was able to kill all these Colossus at home. Crazy macro by MaSa. I have no idea where he got the money from. And look at the gas from First. He could have potentially had like 5, 6, 7 High Templars with Storm, or even without, and just morph 8 of them into Archons. Now we're looking at a bunch of Widow Mines, few Marauders, and still a bio hit spot unpowering all these gateways. Rude MaSa, the Canadian Terran player, playing in one of his first major tournaments ever. He's played a lot in online tournaments and has actually collected a lot of prize money as well over the years, playing in online tournaments. But he hasn't really played a whole lot offline. Oops, that is not me. I don't know who did that, but my mouse was off the keyboard. First is dropping 10 gateways at once. Now he will start, will be able to wipe in a bunch of units again. He is still sitting on 2 mining bases with 41 probes. This game is crazy. He's wiping in a bunch of Dark Templars offensively over here with the Warp Prism. This is really frustrating because MaSa doesn't want to worry about defending now. MaSa just wants to attack, and he already doesn't have a whole lot of SCVs to work with. So the last thing you want to do is throw down a bunch of scans to deal with Dark Templars. Really well done by First. Army supply 63 against 21. I'm not sure. The moment that Photon Overcharge runs out, he has one more. Zealot Archon with 1-2 upgrades against Stim Bio with 2-1 upgrades. He's gonna leave one Marauder behind. Gets the cybernetic score. Because why not? Because he can. Chrono boosting out Storm now as well. He does have his Archons. First did a good enough job in somehow keeping these bases alive on the low ground, as he has lost his entire main. But he still has his mining base on the low ground. These Archons are taking a lot of damage immediately, and the Wither Mines do get their shots off as well. I'm not sure if First getting in there. I mean, Zealots are really good, but if MaSa pulls all of his bio units now, 65 army supply against 53, 2-1 upgrades against 1-2, Zealots are moving in, Archons trying to mask, and a couple of good shots up on the Medivacs. Man, these Zealots just don't die, do they? Zealots are very, very good units against Marauders. Wither Mines are very good against Zealots, but most of the Wither Mines have died. First is up 30 supply, which means army supply must be very even. Actually a small advantage for First, who's rebuilding his cybernetic score, and Storm is about to finish up, and he still has so much gas. He will actually be able to drop 3-4 Storms immediately. Did MaSa lose one of his orbitals? No, he didn't. So he's still a triple orbital Terran, but he has mined out both of his 2 initial bases. It seems like First has stabilized. It really looked like MaSa was going to be able to make this work for a second. But that is the first Storm, and Storms, well, Storm hurts. Wither Mine hurts too. A lot of these Zealots soften up immediately. This is a really awkward position to play from, because First is so in the dark. Does he even have an observer? He has one observer out on the map. This one observer, it's so important because I don't think he has a robotics facility right now. No, he does not. A couple of defensive High Templars could land Storms for days. At the same time, First is counterattacking on the south side of this map. Here come the Marauders, and one Wither Mine is going to blow up most of these Zealots. And, you know, the Storms are going to keep First safe in this ramp for quite a while, and at the same time he's denying the only mining base. The Archons actually take out the orbital, not something we see very often. And that is going to be it. First was on the ropes, but he did not throw the towel, he fought back. Only had 23 army supply to work with, but somehow he was able to hang in there like a trooper, and he will win game number 1. Pretty cool game. It started off slow. I must say I was really surprised by the 4-gate opening by First. I had the idea that he wanted to receive this 3 barracks pressure, then shut it down and immediately counterattack with 4 gateway pressure, which is actually a pretty cool meta play, but it didn't really work because his piling got scouted, and then MaSa decided not to go for it. And it's like, alright, I think I have to worry about Blink Stalkers, so he just went defensive. Then it looked okay-ish for MaSa, but First was doing a really good job in keeping MaSa busy with the Warp Prism, dropping a few Zealots, buying a lot of time for himself, getting out Colossus, and then it kind of looked like it was game over. 3 Colossus, Blink Stalkers, charge slots, 1-2 upgrades, and you're like, alright, well this is the power of Protoss, right guys? The power of Protoss. But then MaSa, during all that, is somehow dropping the main of First, takes out the Nexus, kills 17 probes in the process, outpowers every single gateway, and then almost wins the game. But Photon Overcharge is very useful skill to have. And First was able to stabilize with his 2 mining bases on the low ground, warped in 10 gateways, had a lot of money that he couldn't spend before because all his gates were unpowered. But then of course by the time that you somehow reproduce those gateways, well then life smiles at you again, because you can warp in Zealots for days. I'll let them know that I am ready for game number 2 between First and MaSa. It is going to be played on Nimbus. I will have to wait until the game is live before I can update my scoreboard. Everybody's talking about my eyes again. Like, guys, in all honesty, I wonder how your eyes look. If you wake up at like 5:05 a.m. and you have been staring at a screen until 2 p.m. Like, don't tell me that your eyes wouldn't be red, because your eyes wouldn't be red too. So I know you guys like to tease me because I'm Dutch. You guys always think I'm high, but I'm not. But yeah, just try it once. Wake up at 5:05 a.m. so basically 5 a.m. and stare at the screen in the living room where daylight goes from dark to light to dark again, and tell me that your eyes wouldn't be red, because I don't believe it. I'm going to ignore all these silly questions from you, or not even questions, but I guess in a way those are questions. I'm just going to update my scoreboard real quick. It was a good game though, I enjoyed it. Once again, for the people who are wondering what's happening, Snoot versus SOS, it is up next. It should be the next series that I will cast. First is going to be up 1-0. This goes to the order bottom, order move up. I think everything else is correct. No, then player names are wrong, right? Yes, the player names are wrong. I could switch it, but I don't want to do it because then it's really frustrating for you guys. It's a little, people with OCD will go crazy if the Terran would be on the right side of the scoreboard and the Protoss would be on the right side. A lot of stuff is happening. Let me double check my scoreboard. Everything looks good. MaSa is indeed the red Terran player spawning on the left top side of the map. There we go, Roddy. It's really not that hard looking at your freaking minimap. He's representing root for root, and some people might have picked up on the fact already, like, hey, why does he only have 9 SCVs? I feel like SCVs are missing. As over here on the right top side of the map, we have our blue Protoss. He is Korean, but he's currently living in Düsseldorf under the supervision of Rice, the manager who has guided MC to so many tournaments. It is first. I'm not sure if he's still represented by the GEM agency as well. Despite being picked up by TCM, he might still be with GEM. And this is so fortunate for First. First, not only did he go Gateway first on a map where a lot of Protoss players will go Nexus first, he also checks the main base of MaSa. And he's like, hey, that's very, very few SCVs you have. Now, some people might be like, MaSa, why on earth would you 11-11 against a Protoss player? I don't think he's doing this because he's on tilt. I think the reason why MaSa is doing this is because First is a Protoss on Nimbus, and a lot of Protoss players like to go Nexus first. You have this in-base expand, it's very easy to take. As we all know, defending 11-11 when you go Nexus first is hard. It's not impossible, especially not when the barracks are so far away, but it's really hard. MaSa tries to get his bunker up, but First wants to make sure that doesn't happen. His first Zealot is almost out as well. I'm not sure how crazy MaSa is going to go with this, but there is a chance he will go absolutely all out and 11-11 will die trying. He's not building any SCVs now, so that gives us the idea that this is a super all-in by MaSa. I mean, 11-11 is always pretty much all-in, but sometimes they fly their barracks home and try to transition. It doesn't seem like MaSa wants to do this. He really wants to get bunkers up and leapfrog forward, but it has taken so long already. The Marine count is not even that high. Oh, we're looking at 5 Marines. If this bunker goes up, then I believe. But yeah, that bunker was a little ambitious. It was way too close to the Protoss base. And right now, First is probably just taking it easy. He could warp in another gateway. If I was First, I probably would. You can chrono boost out Stalkers and still get a second gateway. That makes your life so much easier. You can produce 2 Stalkers at a time. But Stalkers outrange Marines in this phase in the game, and especially at the moment you have 2 Stalkers. Oh, I like what MaSa is trying to do over there. He blocked the pathing of the Stalker. Very well done. Unfortunately, First is too good to be stubborn and keep trying to walk past a few SCVs that won't move. And instead what he did is just send it to the right side. First is indeed getting his 2 additional gateways now, gateway number 2 and 3. He did delay warp gate technology quite a bit, so that is the only thing that MaSa has going for himself. And he did go back to producing SCVs, but we're looking at 12 SCVs against 21 probes. 1 base against 1 base. I don't know, Cav. This isn't looking all that good for the Terran player right now. I agree, Cav. It is indeed not looking very good for the Terran. First is even getting his robotics facility now as well, tucked away in the right corner of his main. And he doesn't have to stress at all. He has a photon overcharge, he can just sit back. He knows that this was a super uneconomic opening from MaSa. He knows MaSa still has SCVs over here as well. And like the last thing he wants to do is underreact, think that this is over when it's not over. I believe the boys have been pulled as well. The boys are definitely not what it used to be. There used to be way more boys back in the 80s. Those were the days, guys, where all the boys were coming out and they were rocking with their you-know-what out. It's not going to happen today. Photon Overcharge will get casted. And unfortunately for MaSa, I do not believe that he will ever be able to kill these 3-4 Stalkers from First. First's micro is just too good for that. He's not going to mess up. MaSa still has a few SCVs mining at home. I don't really understand the point of pulling 6 or 7 SCVs. Like, just pull them all, or don't pull it all. Maybe he's gonna pull the rest when Photon Overcharge expires. MaSa knows that he has to win the game right here and right now, because transitioning is borderline impossible. It's pretty much impossible unless, you know, very, very crazy things happen. But first, once more, first is very good. And it's unlikely he messes up when he's this far ahead. 14 SCVs against 24 probes. Gateways are ready now as well to morph into warp gates. And if 8 Stalkers wasn't enough of a problem, now it's going to be 8 Stalkers, 3 Zealots and an Immortals on the way. Here come the final SCVs. These boys are back in town. They wanted to stay at home. They wanted to be desperate houseboys. But nope, they're gonna have to rock one more time. But I don't think it's gonna make the difference. There's too much DPS in these Stalkers. There's too much micro potential in this army of first. And despite playing absolutely phenomenal in the Canadian qualifier, because that is what MaSa did. MaSa played his heart out to even qualify for the Intel Extreme Masters. I do not think that he's going to be able to make the difference over here. Played a good series against Snoot as well. But now he is super all in with his 17 Marines against these 8 or 9 Stalkers and this Immortal. And MaSa knows that he doesn't even have to try anymore. GG is